Today, I'd like to share with you how to use the new Stampin' Positioner. This is a great tool for aligning stamps and just enabling you to get a correct image, a better image, and get it within the lines where you want it. This can be pre-ordered as a demonstrator now through February 2nd. February 3rd, if you're not a demonstrator, please join our Stampin' Up! Team to receive this free. That's a great perk for joining. This tool comes with a base plate and 2 magnets. The magnets are easy to grab. They're enclosed within a little plastic cover, so they're easy to pick up and put down without any trouble. It comes with the plate that your stamps are going to adhere to. And then also it comes with a smaller plate that you can use for small things. We're going to use this for an flower center. So as I teach you how to use this tool, we are going to use or create this card right here. This is made with Stampin' Up! Fragrant Layers stamp set. It's a 2-step stamp, so you've got one outline and then a solid image. So let's begin and see how to use our new Stampin' Positioner. So I'm going to lift this plate off, and our cardstock, this actually measures 3 3 3/4 by 5 inches. It is going to fit right in the middle of this little row of knobs that stick up right between the 2 middle ones, and you can barely see it, but there's kind of an embossed little square here so that you know you've got your cardstock right in the right square position. And of course you can place your magnets on top. I also am going to use a little piece of painter's tape just to help me keep my cardstock stable from moving out of this position. So I realize that this is kind of on an angle, and we're used to looking at things straight, which you could straighten this up so you're looking at your cardstock square. And you may want to do that to initially place your image. So we're going to start with the Fragrant Layers outline, and I think I kind of want this in this position because I want to put my sentiment, just a note, up at the top right. So I've placed this on, and I'm going to just turn around the Stampin' Positioner to work with it because my stamp is in the place where I want it to be. I'm just going to push this down very easily and pull it up, and there my stamp is in the correct position of where it's going to be on my cardstock. So I'm going to ink this up by walking around the ink pad on the stamp right on my plate. That is Highland Heather, and then I'm going to place my plate right back on the base, right putting it on these 2 knobs here, and just push down, and it transfers the ink so nicely. So this plate has 2 knobs on the bottom, and they have springs in them, so they spring back. And one nice thing I like about this, there is an adequate space in between the plate and the base. And of course, I'll turn the base over here. There's kind of like a non-stick foam pad on there too, so it doesn't scratch your work area at all, and it doesn't slide too bad. But if I need to reach in there when I'm especially using the smaller plate to move my cardstock, I really could do that. And of course the magnets don't get in the way. They can be close to the stamped image. Now I'm just going to clean this with my Stampin' chamois, and we're going to change stamps and put the solid stamp on here. Whoops, I got a little leaf image there. So here I want to kind of point out, I'm just going to place this in place. But one thing to think about when you are positioning your second stamp, what you're looking at is the back side of this photopolymer. And you notice on the photopolymer stamps, you've got the image, it's a little bit smaller, and then you've got this extra photopolymer around on the back side of your stamp. So when you're positioning this, you've got it flipped over and you're looking at the wider part of the photopolymer, which is overlap of the image. So you want to just be cognizant of that as you're placing this down, knowing that you just want the image part over the lines. So I'm going to place this back on and pick up the stamp. Now I have actually put a stamp on the back side. It does fit in here. It just doesn't have the spring knobs, but it still does work that way in a pinch if you're in a hurry like I get sometimes, wanting to see my finished product. So I am inking now the solid part with fresh freesia ink. And then I'm going to come in with my Highland Heather and a sponge dauber and flick the edges of my large flowers. This is going to give me two different colors or a variegated flower. And I love that variegated look. I love the stamps here too because they are textured and some parts of them hold more ink, some less, and it just gives a really nice, pretty realistic image. Okay, let's see whether that's enough. We're going to put this back on the two little knobs up here, press down, and there's really pretty image, but I think I want the outline of my flowers just a little bit darker. So again, I am going to take my sponge dauber and I'm going to go around the edge of these flowers with a little bit of ink, just flicking up. I'm not putting ink on the whole part of the flower, just the edge. You can even see on my stamp, the edge is a little bit darker. And this is so easy to do because my cardstock is just in place where it was the first time. And there you can see some of these flowers got a little bit darker. I really like that. So I will stop there and again clean my image with the Stampin' Chamois. And we need to get the leaves now. So there are 3 different leaves here, 3 different stamps. And whoops, sorry for the noise there, my plate hit the spring. I can put my leaves, all 3 of them, right over the image of the leaf. There's 1. There's 2, that's the 3 leaf. And here's this little baby right here. Now, I'm just going to pick up those stamps, all 3 of them. And this time we're going to ink with Shaded Spruce. I can ink all 3 up at one time and just stamp down. Now, I don't know whether you notice, I've got a little bit of ink here, and no worries, there's no ink on my cardstock. But I didn't get that one inked, so let me put that right back. I either didn't press there, yep, that's what I did. So it goes right back in place, just beautifully. There's one more thing, well, 2 things actually. We need a little bit of bright color on the center. So let's use some Daffodil Delight, and we'll use the little round center. And I have got it already on my small plate. All I've got to do is just drop it right there in the center and then pick it up. We'll ink with Daffodil Delight, add a little brightness to our project here. And right back on there, press. Well, I didn't center that very well, did I? Let's try this one. Pick that up. Ink. Stamp that down. And we'll go for this third one. Ink that up. Stamp down. And I want to go back and correct this one just a little bit. So I'm going to re-put that on my center and pick that up again. Ink. And stamp down. There, much better. You know what? I could even actually make this one a little bit darker. I think I like the darker yellow there. So let's go back and do that. There are no mistakes. We can correct them and in the process make it look even a little bit better there. Okay. Now the next thing, or the final thing I want to do, is put my sentiment. And I'm going to turn this around so you're looking at it correctly, like a vertical card. And I'm just going to lay my Just a Note from the stamp set on there. And we'll place the plate on, pick that up, and I want to go back to Highland Heather. And I'm going to ink. And of course I did get some more ink on the plate, but it's not going to get on my cardstock. And I want my Just a Note to stand out a little bit more, so I am inking it twice. Oh, I really got some ink on the plate there. There. I didn't get any ink from the plate onto my project, which is beautiful. My Just a Note is just a little bit darker, and we're just going to peel this off. And then I am going to place this on a Highland Heather mat. So my original basic white cardstock was 3 1/4 by 5 inches, and my mat of Highland Heather is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then I will adhere that onto a basic white base, card base, that is initially, sorry for making the noise, I keep hitting that spring. Initially this is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And just to put a little finished note on here, I'm going to use some of these purple fine shimmer gems, because they just add a little bit of sparkle. And I'm actually using both colors here. Or there are 3 colors, but I'm using 2 of them. And that makes my finished card. And now I have 2 cards. One I can send out, one I can be prepared for the next person that I need to send it to. And actually I had a third here that I was practicing on. So that's a great way in a short amount of time to get 3 perfect cards. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, just email me at esther@stamptogether.com. Thank you.